So what I do is I work one-on-one with people, or I work in business with managers and teams. And what I do is I bring flow back into people's lives. So when people are not getting the outcomes that they want in life, usually what is at fault here is not so much the environment or the events, but a limiting belief that they have about what they can do, what they can't do. So if you can imagine that life does what it does, how we choose to respond and react to that is determined by what we believe in ourselves and what values we have in our lives. So when things are not quite working out the way that people want, this is what I do. Then is I help them restore that balance so that they can achieve the life that they want. The way that I got into this was through my own events, my own life happening to me. Parents got divorced and life just didn't make sense anymore. And unlike most teenagers, I guess, I just got into looking and trying to discover, trying to find out. I was curious as to why this was happening to me. I felt unknown to myself, but I felt very much like a victim. I would look around and I'd think to myself, why is it that somebody else has what I thought from the outside was a perfect life, and God chose me to do this, to have this kind of life? It just didn't seem fair. So I started to try and find out, well, what have I done? Well, what was my contribution into life that allowed life to give me the situations that I had? And through trying to figure out and trying to find some stability and some sense in what was going on in my life, it led me down this pathway. And it's been a long pathway. I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of courses, and it was a little bit of that kind of stuff where you do something and you apply it and you feel good for a while. So you think, hey, you know, I hit it. 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, something else happens and you recognize and you realize that actually you're not done. So try something new, discover something new, try and work out what was not working, what did I do wrong, or maybe what can I do better. And that led me down 25 years, if not more, of this personal development pathway. I was fortunate enough to go and train for NLP. I worked with the masters of that, Dr. Richard Bandler, Paul McKenna, and when I did my master practitioner, they invited me to come and assist with them, and I did that for 8 years. And what that really gave me was a platform where I could really sit course after course and watch them work with people and understand what has to happen for people to create shifts. What do I do to develop people? How do I get people to attach to themselves and find out what is not working? How do I free them? How do I help them free themselves? Because at the end of the day, I'm not the one that can make the magic happen. I'm the catalyst here, so I know how to help people connect to themselves and free themselves from the lies that they tell themselves about what they can and cannot do, and start to live their truth. Because beneath every limiting belief, there's a truth. And when we can see what the limiting belief is and free ourselves from that and really see what the truth is, we are free. The problems appear in many different shapes and forms, but it comes down to one. No matter what the negative problem is, it comes down to the fear of rejection, which is people's biggest fear that they have in life. Because if we get rejected, it means we're not being loved. And if we're not being loved, it means that we don't have a purpose. What we are contributing and what we're doing for the world has no meaning. There's no validation to our existence, and therefore we feel, what's the point? Why am I here? So without that purpose, people find it very difficult to have meaning of life. And what is the point of getting up every day? So the problem that I see, it doesn't matter whether it's my boss doesn't recognize my contribution. It could be a child thinking my parents don't care about me. It could be a spouse feeling that their partner doesn't love them or support them or care about them. It doesn't matter what it is. When you start to break it down, it comes down to that fear of rejection, of whatever it is that I'm doing is being rejected, and it's being rejected because I'm not good enough in whatever shape and form that is. And that is the biggest problem that I see, and people try and fix it at the higher level, where actually that's not where the problem really is. The first thing that I do to help people solve their problem is to get them to own it, to become aware of it, to understand what the limiting belief is and what is the truth behind it, to set them free. Now, like Jim, If you go to, get a gym membership and you go for 1 month and get yourself fit in that 1 month, that's not enough for the rest of your life. You've got to keep it going. It's ongoing. It's the same with eating well, living clean. You can't just do it for a short period of time and then stop. So for the same token, I also appreciate that people can't constantly be coming to see me or their therapist for that. So what I've done is I've created a whole lot of products to support them in the ongoing journey. So there's a book, there's a journal with online modules, and I've got a big selection of hypnotic audios that they can listen to so that they're able to constantly remind themselves about who they are, what their purpose is, and to constantly be working on the unconscious level to keep them aligned to their purpose in life. So there's a variety of products that I have. I'm an educator, a teacher. I've been teaching loads of things to lots of people all my life. It's just something that just comes very, very easy to me. And I love teaching people about themselves, raising that self-awareness, teaching them about their thinking. We have this magnificent tool that we can think more and more creatively, more innovative than any animal on this planet. And yet we're not taught to think about our thinking. And therefore, we live the unconscious life. And what happens with that is that our mind, brilliant as it is, creates these false perceptions of ourselves. And because we're not aware of that and we don't recognize it and we don't even know how to look for it, we believe those false perceptions and then we live that limited life of what that perception gives us. So by educating people about their behaviors, their thinking, they're able to recognize, uncover, and then set themselves free with that truth. So that's what I do, and that's how I leave people. When they leave from me, after they've worked with me, they've got so much more awareness of themselves. They start to think differently about their thoughts and about how they see the world and about what they want. I remember struggling through my own feelings. I remember not achieving things because I felt like I couldn't. I remember the frustration that I had in my life for wanting to live more, to achieve more, and procrastinating, sabotaging myself, putting obstacles in the way so that I could have an excuse as to why this couldn't happen. So my mission is to free people from the things that took, the burdens that they have, and to help them, teach them how to be happy, how to accept themselves, how to deliver on their objectives, to communicate clearly who they are to themselves and to others. Just really to be happy, enjoy life. That's my mission. My life and my family are my teachers. All the challenges, all the events, the good days, the bad days have all been the things that I have used in order to develop myself and to develop my products. A lot of people, when they meet me, they think that I have the perfect life and the perfect family. And in many ways, I have got the perfect life and the perfect family, but it doesn't come without challenges themselves. So it's an interesting thing that I see happening all the time. It's just when I think I really know it all, something comes into my life again, and it just reminds me that I'm still learning. The comments that people leave with me is that, wow, Vicky Ross, you have saved my life. And I haven't really saved their lives, I've opened their hearts. So I'm known for creating breathtaking and transformational changes. I help people open up and see life themselves in different ways, with different eyes. I help them take thinking that already exists and help them see it and think in a different way. So a very common feedback that I'll get is that, I'm just starting to see things differently, and it's opening up their minds to what is. So I'm known for creating that shift in their thinking and in their perception of life. When people have worked with me, they leave feeling hopeful, they feel empowered, they feel calm because they kind of recognize that they're okay. They feel good because they know that they're not broken, they're enough. That there's nothing that they need to really achieve other than just find a way to connect with their passions and then to live that life. But they don't have to do anything. So people leave me feeling relaxed and calm, knowing that they can just find a way in a time that's right for them to have a good life.